She was a retired nurse from Texas, widowed, alone, and looking for connection after years of caring for others. When she met General William, it felt like fate. He was kind, respectful, said all the right things, and he was serving overseas, stationed in Syria, a man of duty, honor, and heartbreak, just like her. They met online, a message on Facebook that led to weeks of long, late-night conversations. He shared pictures of himself in uniform, told her stories about missions and loneliness. He said she reminded him of his late wife. He called her his angel. It wasn't love at first sight, but it was something deeper: trust. Then came the first ask. He was trying to retire early and come home to the States, but the military was holding his personal belongings, including a locked chest with documents and money. He just needed a processing fee paid so it could be released. He said he couldn't access his military account while deployed, but if she could cover it, just temporarily, he'd pay her back the second he landed. It wasn't much, just $1,500. And after everything he shared, everything they'd built, how could she say no? She wired the money, then a second request came, then a third. Excuses became longer. The story's more complicated. Suddenly, he needed help covering legal clearance, medical forms, overseas taxes. Every time she asked questions, he reminded her how dangerous things were where he was, that he was doing this for them, for their future, for love. By the time her daughter stepped in and checked her bank statements, over $200,000 was gone. Gone to a man who never existed. This isn't a Netflix movie, this is a real case. The FBI later confirmed the photos she received weren't of a man named William. They belonged to a real U.S. general whose image had been stolen and used by multiple scammers. The man she fell for was part of a large online network operating out of Nigeria, targeting widows, divorcees, and older women across the U.S. They weren't working alone. There were whole teams involved, some writing messages, some running fake courier websites, others calling victims pretending to be lawyers or customs agents. The operation made millions. And it didn't stop with her. Another woman from California lost her retirement. A widow in Florida had to sell her house to pay off the debt. One woman was found sitting in her car outside a Western Union, completely broken, after realizing she had just sent her last $10,000 to a man who said he was coming home to marry her. This scam works not because the victims are stupid, but because they're human. So how do you avoid it? First, reverse image search. If someone's profile picture looks like it came out of a magazine, drag and drop it into Google. If the photo pops up with a different name, red flag. Second, no legitimate U.S. service member will ever ask a civilian for money while deployed. That's not how military pay, leave, or operations work. The U.S. Army has official statements warning the public. They do not charge soldiers to go on leave. Third, emotional pressure is a tactic. If someone you've never met is declaring love quickly, asking for secrecy, or guilt-tripping you when you say no, step back. And most importantly, talk to someone. These scams thrive in silence. The moment you speak up, the illusion starts to crack. The woman from Texas? She's in therapy now, rebuilding. She went public with her story because she said, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. Romance scammers don't just steal money. They steal trust, dignity, and sometimes hope, but you don't have to let them. If you or someone you know is talking to someone online and things don't feel right, don't wait. Check. Ask questions. Share this video. Because behind the screen, it might not be love. It might be someone who's already done this to 10 others and is about to do it again. Before you send money, before you believe every story, pause, think, and ask yourself how to avoid it.